What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the CeeLo's Film Club. We break down the biggest movie news and dive deep into the world of cinema. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the finale of Alien Earth. This is episode 8, titled The Real Monsters. Unfortunately, guys, all good things coming to an end because everyone knows who's following my channel. I love this show. Great show, well written, well directed. Everything about this show is magnificent. There's a little bit of, they wrapped up the final episode great, but one downfall. It was a little too short and they left you on a cliffhanger. I guess it's two little downfalls. Not necessarily cliffhanger. It doesn't really wrap up of what exactly of everything that happened for this season. But I understand that a lot of shows do that, so you can watch in future seasons. Because it does seem like they're gonna end up with the season 2. It's not 100% confirmed, but we do speculate there's going to be another season, just the way the episode finished off. But before we get started, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you guys don't miss a beat on any of the movie news. All right, guys, the intro for this episode, just like all the other episodes, has a pretty cool entrance. This show Arthur's body on the beach, just laying down. It kind of foreshadows something at the end that we'll get into. But yeah, guys, it starts off just like that. Just to get you guys a little thoughts of what I've been gathering with all these episodes of Alien Earth. I'll be 100% honest, guys. Doesn't Prodigy have the worst security? Oh my God, the way these creatures all escape, dude. It gets to the point. It's like, is Prodigy? Is Boy Cavalier even that smart? Like, he's the biggest tech guy, on Earth. That's what it seems like, at least for now. Well, I guess Yutani's up there, but they have the worst security of all time. Just want to throw that out there. Just thinking about every episode, you see one little creature escape. This episode is no different. We're pretty much going to start off with how the episode starts off. You have Kirsch and, you have Kirsch looking over this baby Xenophore, taking care of it. He's the one that captured the Xenophore. And then you have Murrow, and also you have Hermit. Hermit and Murrow, they're in the exact same containment, cell that they're held upon. And you know how they escape? Pretty much, Merrill's cybernetic arm is captured with a like a big old silver object, so he cannot use it. But he uses the exact same object to break down the door. Like I said before, guys, very convenient that they can just escape pretty easy. It's not like they didn't think about that before, but they end up leaving. And what Merrill's plans are. He pretty much said that he's coming for everyone, especially for Prodigy. That is his goal. But the way he says it, takes off that lock that they put on his arm, and he gets a gun, and it's pretty awesome, guys. I love Merrill's character, and he's ready for war. So you can already tell where he's about to go, dude. He's about to go get his Xenophobes, his Xenophobes, and he's also gonna go take down Boy Cavalier. Hermit's plan is to go check out Wendy and the rest and see what they go from there. You see Wendy's commanding the Xenophobes in the cell. She's pretty much locked up with all the other sins. She's communicating with the Xenophobe. The Xenophobe, as you see in the episode, you can just pretty much, it follows the Xenophobe out in the forest, taking down a lot of these security from Prodigy, taking them all down. Pretty much a little bit like a movie scene where you see like a slasher taking down a whole bunch of people from afar. That's exactly what happens. But Wendy's communicating with the big Xenophobe out that he is out on the beach. She's communicating with him. As you can tell in the episode, Wendy has this ability to communicate with these Xenophobes from afar. So I thought it was a pretty cool touch. I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was very well done. Pretty much, as you can tell in the episode, you have, Wendy communicating with these Xenophobes. Wendy eventually ends up opening the cell when Boy Cavalier comes and talks to all of them, pretty much saying that he owns all of them, saying that, that everything could have gone smooth, everything could have gone according to plan, but they had to screw it up. Wendy tells him, hey, you're not Peter Pan, you're pretty much Captain Hook. And that pisses him off. She opens the door, and that's when it's like a holy crap moment. Everyone's like, holy crap, she could have done this the whole time, but she didn't. As you guys can tell and remember, Wendy can pretty much control all of Prodigy's, network system. She can go through cameras, open doors, change things on monitors and stuff like that. And I thought that was a really good touch. Then she pretty much tells the Sins, let's play hide and go seek. Boy Cavalier ends up running. She turns on the lights, so she flickers the lights so things can go a little bit more on the scarier side. Then you see Hermit going back to his room. Hermit gets approached by Adam. Earlier in the episode that we find out where Adam came from. Adam ends up being a sin. Pretty much, Boy Cavalier explains that how he started his first sin. He was 6 years old. He created his first sin at 6 years old. So pretty much what happened, his dad was a drunk. He hated his dad. His dad was a POS, a piece of shit. To Boy Cavalier, and Boy Cavalier already knew that he was gonna be that guy, that he came from nothing and conquered the world. Pretty much, he was gonna be that boy genius, and that's what he refers himself to. And he pretty much killed his dad and turned his dad into a sin. But he could not, pretty much at such a young age, make a company at 6 years old. So he pretty much used a sin to pretty much be like the legal guardian and take over the company until Boy came of legal age. But that sin pretty much is being controlled by Boy Cavalier. So Boy Cavalier pretty much owned this company when he was 6 years old. Very genius move, if I'm being honest. But what we get is Adam ends up being a sin, goes to Hermit, and Hermit and tells him that Hermit needs to go with Boy Cavalier and Wendy because Wendy wants to talk to him. Pretty much, as you see earlier in the episode, Boy Cavalier is hanging out with the eyeball. I'm just gonna call it the eyeball creature. The eyeball creature is pretty much it's just waiting to get out and go into something else. Hermit pretty much, Boy Cavalier has an idea to put this eyeball inside another human. He even tells one of his guards, like, how do you like your eye? And I thought that he was going to use his guard to put release the eyeball creature so he can go into the guard. But what ends up happening, right when he calls him over, I knew that they were going to do it to Hermit. That was actually the intention. He pretty much goes into this, into the office of Boy Cavalier, notices no one there, but you just see where they had the eyeball creature contained. It is open, and that's when you actually get to see Boy Cavalier, kind of getting a little spooked that the eyeball creature tries to go inside Boy Cavalier. Boy Cavalier fights out the creature. Wendy comes into play. Adam comes into play. They pretty much have a 2-on-1 face-off against Adam, and then that eyeball creature ends up going somewhere else because they knew it wasn't successful in going inside of Hermit. Wendy and Hermit have a really touching conversation about what it is to be human. And I actually do believe that the overall story of this episode is who are the real monsters. It is a Prodigy and some of the humans, not all of them, because I don't think Hermit's a monster. But at the end of the day, it's not really the aliens, it is not the monsters, all the rest of the monsters, and it is not the sins. It's actually the humans in this episode. And what it is to be human, just because a person was uploaded to another body, it's still human at the end of the day. At least I think so, just because the way it's conscious. To me, being human is having a good conscience, and I think that's what these sins all are. They're all kids at the end of the day. They'll end up playing hide and seek. They're pretty much going to go look for the rest of the people. They're going to look for probably Meryl, Kirsch. We do have a Meryl versus Kirsch standoff, which I have been waiting for. A robot on robot kind of scenario. They pretty much had a really cool standoff. They pretty much end up, I want to say, in a stalemate in terms of who wins. Pretty much, Meryl breaks the back of Kirsch. Kirsch is leaking that white stuff that these robots have inside of them, and pretty much starts to win like that. Then you get what's it called, Meryl falling down. Kirsch chokes him out. Then you have I think his name is Slightly, I forgot, and Shmi. They end up going into this room to find them, tie them up, and then they bring them back into the cell. That's how they get them. How they get Boy Cavalier is pretty awesome, guys. So pretty much what they do is they pretty much have a hide and seek with Boy Cavalier. Wendy tells the Xenophobe, communicates with him to go find him. He's going down this hallway where the lights are flickering, and yeah, the Xenophobe comes in and grabs Boy Cavalier. They all end up pretty much in this prison. At the end of the day, this prison pretty much captures all of them, puts them all in this prison. They even get Sylvia. How they get Sylvia is Nibs is the one that captures Sylvia. Puts her back into this prison. I thought that Nibs was gonna kill her, but she doesn't. She actually doesn't. Nibs and Sylvia have a little bit of a history because of what the mining racing that happened to her. I really like how all the kid sins go and find the ones that kind of did something to them. Shmeen slightly with Kirsch and Meryl, and then you have Nibs with Sylvia. They all end up back in this little prison containment thing. Hopefully, they don't all escape at the end, but we don't even get to there. And then pretty much Wendy, Hermit, a Xenophorb, the big Xenophorb and the baby Xenophorb, and then the rest of the Sins pretty much go up to this containment cell. They pretty much tell them, hey, I'm in charge now. What's it called? And I am the boss, and I am going to be the one taking over. Pretty much she ends up being like a queen, dude. Like, to be honest, she ends up being the queen. I'm very curious if she can control Utanian networks, because as you can tell that she can control all of the Prodigy, because she was actually able to take down Adam when they had that standoff with Hermit just by freezing him up, just because he's part of the network. And yeah, so pretty much she ends up being the queen. I like how they had the Xenophorb and the baby Xenophorb, kind of next to her too as well. I think Sylvia, they're gonna cut her a break because Sylvia's starting to realize that she is not gonna be part of this. Like, you can just tell that she's coming to a kind of to realization that this is not okay what they're doing. I think she became a little obsessive with the kids because she has never been able to have kids herself. And then we have how it sets up how the Yutani company is going to end up coming over here on Earth and try to take over the Xenoforbs. And I think it's going to be a Xenophorb Sins standoff versus, Yutani and their soldiers. But we keep forgetting, we do have the eyeball thing, which I'm going to get to in a bit. And then we do have the moths. And then we also have that, it's like a plant that sucks you up. It sucked up one of the soldiers. That, where we're going to get with that, I think what's going to end up happening is going to be monsters versus aliens. And then it's going to be aliens in the Sins versus Yutani and some humans. I think that's what's going to end up being. And then also how this episode ends up. We end up finding out where this eyeball creature ends up in. As it foreshadowed in the beginning of the episode, which is very well written, ends up going to Arthur. Then Arthur wakes up because the eyeball thing goes inside Arthur. And that's how the episode pretty much ends. It sets up a lot of things, guys. Kind of ended up somewhat of a cliffhanger, not all the way. But yeah, it didn't give you more of what's going to happen to the rest of the characters as of yet. I think we're going to have to wait for season 2. But let me know you guys' thoughts, guys, on Alien Earth. The finale episode. Put your comments down below. I also do think that this episode was great. I wish it would have been a little bit longer. It was only 45 minutes for a finale. You got straight to the point, very fast paced. But overall, I think Alien Earth was a lot better than what anyone expected. I'm a big fan of this show. I was hooked right from the beginning. I love all the characters. Meryl would have probably been my favorite character. I really liked him. He was very menacing, but at the same time, very direct, and he had really good lines. So let me know you guys' thoughts on what you guys think is going to happen in the future. Are they going to have a season 2, or are they going to spin this off with more of the alien movies? Are they going to bleed over with the Predators, Killers of Killers? But overall, guys, that is it for my Alien Earth, wrapping up the season finale. I will see you guys next time. Peace.